snake.
Hey folks, Rob Daniels here from the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on 98.5 CKWR. You can also find me on visionsinsound.ca, where there's a whole bunch of stuff for you, including the likes of interviews and my appearances at different comic book conventions and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was at Fan Expo a little while ago. So yeah, you can check those out as well. You know what? We're into the fall season. I hate to admit it. I am still wearing shorts, but we're into the fall season. Last week, or in this case, the last couple of days before the end of September, we're going to be heading into the spooky season very soon, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But we're going to round out the month with a little bit of John Carpenter. And in this case, we've got Escape from New York. Now, I think, was it the first time that I'd heard that a director wrote the music? Yeah, John Carpenter wrote the music for his films. And, okay, before somebody turns on me and says, yeah, Alan Howarth was in there as well. Yes, I will not forget Alan Howarth, but I'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, John Carpenter had been writing music as far back as Halloween. I think even Dark Star. Dark Star was quite a while ago, but yeah, he was writing his music as far back as then. And the funny part is, I can't find whether or not he's attributed to this quote or not, because I looked all over. I tried to do some research. I've actually really tried to look for it. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find any article as to whether or not he is attributed to this quote, but I seem to recall him saying or reading somewhere that John Carpenter said, yeah, I'm the only composer I could afford. Like I said, I don't know where I read that, but it's kind of an interesting statement in any case. So yeah, we're looking at the 1981 film Escape from New York, and like I said, I really like the movie. The score is pretty cool as well. That's probably one of the coolest opening titles. And here, have a listen. See what I mean? Pretty cool stuff, considering this is 1981 that we're talking about here. The thing I like about John Carpenter, his music is simple, straightforward, and almost becomes a character in and of itself. There's some pretty fun moments in there. And like I said, I would have loved to have been in on a recording session with Carpenter and Howarth. It would have been really cool to hear their process. They apparently had if I recall correctly, I know this was Halloween. I don't know if they did the same thing, or the later Halloween, but I know that they would record, the movie would be on like a video cassette, and then they would play to the movie and record as they were going. It was actually a really cool process. And yeah, of course, the score is entirely electronic. I did a electronic score with the Jupiter Menace a little while ago. But yeah, it's some pretty great stuff. And like I said, rudimentary, simple, but very effective. Have a listen. So yeah, Carpenter would go on to score most of his films on his own. I mean, there are only a very few, that The Thing and Starman, and there were a couple of other films that he hadn't scored himself. But yeah, for the most part, his scores are fun. I'll leave it at that. How about we just say that? Yeah, I like John Carpenter's scores. They're fun. They're fun scores, and most of them get released in full form. Now, for example, and I'm just gonna have a quick grab here. This is how I found it originally. And this is on Milan. Sorry, this is the Milan release. And yeah, it's a little bit different than you'll see as the one that I put up. Yeah, this is my first. This is actually a German release, but it's weird. It's kind of German, but it's kind of French at the same time. Yeah, Milan did some pretty strange stuff. But yeah, a couple of these have a couple of these different styles. This is how I first became aware of Escape from New York, at least the score for it. And yeah, it's a pretty cool score, and I think you should check it out. It's one of those scores that you don't expect to be as interesting as it is, and John does a pretty good job, like I said, in most of his films. So yeah, Escape from New York. And the one that I have, it's been released in many forms, but the one that I have was on Silva America. And it was the full score. It had all the sound effects and little movie clips and that sort of thing as well. It's one of those kind of scores. I'll leave it at that. Go out there and check it out. So, I'll just say this. If you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play here on my show, you can check out Visions in Sound every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on 98.5 CKWR. You can also try my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on the Twitter, @VisionsSound. You can also find me on Good Pods, downloadable app for your phone or other type devices, and I can also be found on many of the other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. So yeah, you can see it here. Like, share, subscribe. Come on, people. If I get to 100, you'll get my Toronto International Film Festival John Frizzell story. Who doesn't want to hear about that? Also, by the way, I just recently did a recommendation video, and I'm going to keep promoting this. This was fun. I had a great time. I am thinking about doing other recommendation videos, maybe not as epic as the one that I did, which was pushing 47 minutes. I won't be doing that. But yeah, I'm looking to do more various recommendation videos, because yeah, 52 just wasn't enough. There are definitely more out there. So yeah, like I said, I always say, get out there and listen to scores not necessarily by the main composers, the John Williams, the Hans Zimmers. There is so much more out there, and it will blow your mind as to just how much there is out there that is good. So get out there and listen to those scores. So yeah, we're heading into spooky season into next week. Yeah, October is going to be full of a lot of various Halloween horror type scores. I hope you'll come along with me to into October, as we're going to be talking some fantastic stuff. I'm hoping that you'll come along with me on this ride. So have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Attention, you are now entering the debarkation area. No talking, no smoking. Follow the orange line to the processing area. The next scheduled departure to the prison is in 2 hours. You now have the option to terminate and be cremated on the premises. If you elect this option, notify the duty sergeant in your processing area.